Welcome in Jim Peterson. He's an attorney with Judicial Watch. Mr. Peterson, thanks for your time.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Judicial Watch, first of all, let me sing your praises again for being the watchdog that you have been with this Clinton investigation and continue to be, I'm sure, leading up to the election.
Oh, we appreciate that. It's been a big year to uncover everything that was going on with Hillary Clinton and her email server. We learned a lot from what we did and from what the FBI did and others, but there's still more out there, I think.
Yep, still more out there, and I mean, that effort on Judicial Watch's part, I assume, has not just gone away. I mean, this is still pending in front of a judge to get her to answer some additional questions, correct?
That's exactly right. Within the next few days, she'll have to respond to our motion to compel her to answer certain questions that she was ordered to answer but refused to do so. So our effort certainly does not stop because of the election. I mean, Mrs. Clinton should be, like anybody, should be held accountable for everything that was done. So.
Well, I'm certainly not degrading your profession, but the answers that she gave to the questions you asked had clearly been written by a very good attorney, because they argued that every question was outside the scope of whatever the judge had ordered.
Well, that's right. I mean, these things are written by attorneys carefully to protect their clients. But we asked Mrs. Clinton 25 questions, and she either said it was outside the scope of the subject area, or more commonly, she said she simply didn't recall. I mean, she had a serious, judging from her answers to our questions, if she had become president, I mean, we would have had serious questions about whether she would be able to remember even basic facts from a couple of years ago.
Right. Yeah, because her answer to many of them was, I don't recall. So on to the issue that I asked you to be interviewed on today, and that revolves around the immigration law in the state of Arizona, and a challenge to that law by the state's attorney, I'm guessing in this particular case, and interaction they had with the ACLU through this whole thing. Can you kind of set that story up for us?
Sure. You recall back in 2010, Arizona was at ground zero in the immigration crisis and was doing everything it could to protect its citizens, and including they adopted what became a controversial law known as SB 1070, which did a variety of things. Most importantly, and this is the part that was upheld by the Supreme Court. Most importantly, it authorized police officers, under certain circumstances, to simply inquire about the immigration status of people that they encounter. And that provision has been in litigation is also as a result of a private suit brought by the ACLU and a variety of other illegal immigrant advocacy groups. And just in the last couple months, the new Attorney General of Arizona settled that lawsuit. It had been pending on appeal for a long time. And they settled that lawsuit, ending the litigation. And they, unfortunately, it appears that the new Attorney General in Arizona simply wanted the matter to go away, and caved in substantial part to what the ACLU and other illegal alien advocates wanted. So we're trying to get to the heart of what really went on, and that's why last week we filed a lawsuit against Arizona Attorney General seeking information on that.
So basically, to look at any communication they had with the ACLU to figure out if would that communication in and of itself have been unethical or potentially illegal?
Not necessarily. I mean, they're permitted to talk, but what happened as part of the settlement was the Arizona Attorney General issued an informal opinion, a quote-unquote informal opinion, which has no legal effect except that it will guide all the localities around in Arizona. And we were trying to understand if was this really written by the ACLU?
Right.
And is that what was going on here? Were they did the Arizona Attorney General, in order to settle this case, outsource his job to the ACLU and allow them to write what they think the law should be? And that's what happened. Is the Attorney General issued this opinion, which cut back on the full breadth of the law, and we think laws should be enforced as they're enacted.
So the Attorney General is Mark Brnovich. It looks like was there a change of office in between when the law took effect and he came into office and decided he wanted it to go away? Is that what happened?
Right.
Okay.
Right. He right. Yeah. This is the litigation has been going on, like a lot of litigation, for a long time now. But even though the state had been successful, the AG's office was successful at the lower court level. The matter was on appeal, and for whatever reason, they wanted it to go away, and the matter to go away, and they settled it in a way that we're trying to understand why.
Well.
And,
I'll look forward to the resolution of this, and I'm sure that you guys will stay on it until they come clean with those records, because it sure doesn't look good. That's for sure. That it happened, that it ended so abruptly. Maybe now with President Trump, we're going to get some decent immigration reform. So we can just keep our fingers crossed. Jim Peterson with the Judicial Watch. I direct people there to your website at judicialwatch.org, where they can read more about this story and more on the Clinton email mess as well.
Yep, they certainly can. Thank you for having me on.
Yep, Jim, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Love those Judicial Watch people. They will bird dog something until they get an answer on it. And remember, Maricopa County is kind of ground zero there in Arizona.